All right, good day, and welcome to episode 2 of Feather, Prime, and Talk. We've been renewed for a second episode. Um, at this level, all we do is one episode at a time. But thanks to all of those that checked us out, and we hope to continue this effort with our members. A couple of things I just want to draw attention. Again, we're going to go back to the trade show for a second. And I want to call out the vendors that supported the trade show, that paid to make it happen. In particular, I want to draw out the attention to some of the key sponsors. I want to thank CMAX for being the ADAS sponsor at the event and providing everybody an opportunity to try calibrations, particularly the students who have never had an opportunity to try that. I want to thank our Olympic sponsors, LKQ, Sherwin-Williams, and Mitchell International. And then, of course, I want to draw big attention to our diamond sponsors, Chad Melkert and his team at BASF, Devin Catton and his team at Catton Enterprises, and of course, Terry Sharonowski and his team from Color Compass. I want to thank all of you guys for supporting the event. Last week, Norm and I had an opportunity to meet with the new board chair of MPI and the CEO. And Norm, maybe you want to just fill people in on how that went.
Yeah, it was a very interesting meeting. It was a very short meeting, but it was very nice to be able to sit down for the first time, I'm told, with the chair of the board for MPI. So Carmen was very nice. We had some great conversations just about what's happening in collision repair industry, our role as an association, and it was a great opportunity for Dennis and I just really to drive the point home that we are the experts when it comes to collision repair. MPI does what they need to do on the insurance side of things, but when the conversations turn to correct repair methods, procedures, that's where the ATA and that's where we fit into the conversation. That's where our expertise should be consulted. So it was great to just lay down that groundwork and have those conversations. I thought it went very well. Dennis, did you have any big takeaways from that?
I think, like you said, we're just trying to make sure that all the government officials look at us as the voice of the repair industry. And as we said last night, if they're having discussions and making decisions that affect us, we want to make sure they check in with us.
Absolutely.
I want to just maybe briefly share a couple of results. We sent out a survey to all the members regarding the strike and their thoughts on it, and some of the changes that were made, and what we might want to keep, what we want to get rid of. A couple of items kind of stood out on that. Of course, everybody liked the idea of the customer-facing portal that the insured can open their own claim. Thought it sped up the process. Be great to fine-tune that a little bit, maybe get a little bit more information on the loss that would help us out. But that, I think 80% of our respondents look to keep that. The other one, there's kind of a mixed review on the vandalism. Well, it was almost 50-50 as to whether we wanted to keep that as an open peril. And the earned approval limit, 70% of the members wanted to keep that higher limit, but it's kind of a polarizing issue. And, those that don't want it really don't want it, and those that want it really want to keep it. So I don't know if you guys have any additional comments on that EAL.
Yeah, my personal thoughts on the EAL is, I mean, if you're confident in your estimate writing and audits and clawbacks on denials can happen, which they will on EALs. MPI will definitely look at it and audit things. But if you're confident in your estimate writing and you're doing it as per the estimate standards, I mean, EAL can be a good thing. If you're one of those shops that would prefer to have an estimator look at it every single time and not worry about an audit post payment, then EAL is not a good thing for you. So you want to probably keep it down as low as possible. So. And I'm not saying that shops that don't want EL are bad estimators, don't get me wrong. Sometimes it's just a business model that you got set up and how you like to operate. And EL can be your friend and might not be your friend at all. So it's a choice that shops make in their business decisions from day to day. So.
Yeah, totally agree.
So, as we've continued our discussions offline outside of the podcast, we're getting comments from the members, things they'd like us to add to future podcasts, which has been fantastic. We've already got the next 2 or 3 episodes lined up just based on feedback from our members. But a couple of items that have come up that we're going to discuss today are the blend and extension of clear coat and the $100 mobilization fee. And let's dig into those a little deeper. Maybe Ferd, I'll get you to start things off.
Yeah, sure. So there is some confusion around the vehicle mobilization allowance that MPI gives. The estimating standard states that if a tow truck drops a vehicle off on your lot and it's not mobile, you're eligible to add a $100 mobilization allowance to your estimate. So there's some confusion around whether or not that allowance is only given to you if you've hired a tow truck to move that vehicle into your shop. But the standard is clear. I mean, you can get that vehicle into your shop any which way needed, or whatever works for you safely as a shop, and you're entitled to that allowance. So you don't need an invoice from a tow truck showing that you've done it. All you need is pictures to verify that that car came to your shop undrivable, and whatever you needed to do to get it into your shop is what entitles you to the allowance, the $100 allowance. Norm, what do you guys see in there?
Yeah, no, I think you covered it really well. And I think that is when I get phone calls on this one, it's about, well, and as one example, the customer dropped it off, whether the customer brought it on a trailer, towed it, however, but the vehicle at the end of the day is immobile. And that's the point here. And the shop has to find means to get it in the shop, whether, whatever it takes to get it in the shop. And to Ferd's point, there's no invoice needed. It's an allowance given. I think as long as you can substantiate that the vehicle is immobile, attach some pictures, you can attach a million pictures and connect. So put some pictures in there, support your ask, and I don't foresee any issues there.
Yeah, and there's a reference at the bottom of that estimating standard, Norm, that you were talking about earlier about lean practice. And it is absolutely imperative that you plan properly and you coordinate it properly so that you only have to do it once, because you are only entitled to it once per claim, as far as I know. And if you've got your stall ready and you're moving it in, you may as well move it in once and just leave it there, get your repairs done. That way you can let it flow through the rest of your shop until it's complete.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if I've got a vehicle that's immobile, I got pictures to back it up, and I send 4 guys from the shop out to push it in. Can I charge the mobilization
100%.
fee?
Yeah, absolutely.
So what does mobile actually mean? A dead battery, not immobile. A wheel that is rubbing a bumper, maybe you might be able to do some adjustments in the parking lot. That's kind of a gray area, but definitely something that has suspension damage,
Yeah.
drive line damage, 100% that's a mobile.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Let's kind of move the conversation into blend and extension of clear coat. Maybe Norm, you want to start that one off?
Yeah, this one's a little bit of a spicy one, so we'll get right into it. So we've got blend and extension of clear coat, which of course are calculated both the same way. Looking at the standard right now, they're both 50% of the full refinish time allotted for that panel. So we won't spend a pile of time on blend. Blend is to achieve a color match, and that is on an undamaged panel. Extension of clear coat speaks to extending the clear coat when there is no clear breakpoint on the panel that you are repairing, replacing, whatever the concern is. So they're both calculated the same way. I think where we get into a little bit of a deeper conversation is on a section joint, where you're sectioning a quarter panel, for example, in the roof rail or in the rocker panel. So are you extending the clear into the rocker and roof rail? Are you blending for color? I personally feel that you should be entitled to the full paint time. Your section joint is happening between both panels, and you're going to end up with filler and primer on both the panel you replaced, i.e. the quarter in this example, and the roof rail and the rocker panel. So those are no longer undamaged panels. Those vehicles, because of the nature of the repair process, have now been damaged. They've been repaired and they need to be painted. So I don't know if that's the way you look at it too, Ferd. I know there's been, I don't know, tons of phone calls where this is getting pulled back. What's your thoughts?
Absolutely, and that is a conversation that needs to be clarified with our partners at MPI. The way I see it is exactly the way you explained it. Your section and quarter panel and the sail panel area, is that technically the quarter panel, or is that already extended into the roof rail? If you're sectioning, the procedures call for a section in the roof rail 100%, that is full paint time. That should be full paint time all day long on the roof rail. If you're sectioning and you've got your feather prime and block in that sail pan area, that should be a conversation had with an estimator to make sure that you can get an approval before you submit it and get a denial. I would suggest that if it's explained properly and with proper pictures, they would see it the same way that you're seeing it and would probably be approved. When you're talking about extension of clear coat now, you've blended a color out into, say you've blended a color into a quarter panel, from a quarter panel into a roof rail, or you've blended the color onto a quarter panel from a door, but that quarter panel extends up onto a roof rail. The quarter panel is a blend, the roof rail is extension of clear coat. So you've got two blending operations technically, because they're being considered the same thing and being paid at the same rate, but it needs to be labeled the right way on your estimate. Blend onto the quarter panel, extension of clear onto the roof rail. So
Correct.
those are the differences there. The
Yeah.
conversation with whether that panel is damaged or not is fairly obvious based off the repair standards. Repair standards are supplied to the estimator with pictures. They would more than likely see it your way.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, looking at the examples, because they actually speak to this in two documents. One, I'm looking at the blend and color, blend for color match and extension of clear coat. And then there is another document linked in that blend. Well, it's called the same thing, but it's more of a blend policy. But they talk about that at the bottom. And then both examples they give where you're going to be extending that clear coat, the area where you transition from the quarter panel to the roof rail or to the rocker is undamaged. So that is the big difference there. And that's why in those cases you have extension of clear coat. So
yeah,
yeah, clear as mud.
Sorry, that can be the difference between repairing a quarter panel and replacing a quarter panel. You've got the other operations to consider. You've got your sectioning joint, you've got your feather block and prime on that section joint. And now where does your color need to extend to? So if you're blending a quarter panel section onto a roof rail, is that full refinish? Which it should be.
Yeah.
In my opinion. So
yeah.
P pages say the same thing. Mitchell P pages is what basically dictates what Mitchell sees adequate. And they talk about the nearest breaking point for clear coat extension, and they talk about blend to the undamaged panel. So if the panel's damaged as part of the repair process, sectioning, then full paint should apply.
Absolutely. Yeah. Good.
Well, some great talking points on both those items. I look forward to the comments that we get back. I welcome everybody to make comments on the YouTube channel or drop us an email at the ATA mailbox or any one of our mailboxes on this episode or any future episodes you'd like to see. We look forward to it. You'll get QR codes this time on the email notice. We encourage you guys to share the podcast with your staff. You'll have a link to the Spotify channel and the YouTube channel. You can post it in the lunchroom. You may have people that don't get the emails from the ATA, but maybe they want to check out the podcast and see what it's all about. Last thing before we go, we're just hitting the 12-minute mark now. I just one more time. In the comments section, if you like, next October 31st, if you think Norm should shave down to the wood before he starts November and start clean this time, let us know in the comments section. But Norm, give us another plug on your Movember drive.
Yeah, it's everybody's complaining about my start, but yet everybody's complimenting the thickness and fullness of this Lanny McDonald-esque mustache. So you know what, the mustache is doing what it's supposed to do. It's raising some funds. We're up to close to $2,000 already. Our teams has raised. So again, big thanks to everybody who's supporting the Movember movement. And also last night at the AGM, Robert Boyce extended another challenge to me. And he said he will donate $500 to the cause if I shave the mustache on December 1st, but don't grow my beard back for the entire month of December. Now, December, for those who know me, is usually Beardcember because I come out of Movember and grow my beard in December and then sport it for the rest of the year. But Rob has challenged me to keep it off, so I think I'm going to take him up on that. I mean, $500 to a good cause to keep a close shave for the month. I'll sign up for that.
All right. Well, that brings us to the end of this one. Like, subscribe, and we look forward to future episodes. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks, Dennis.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay, bye-bye.